So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans, coming to you from the Woodyard today on a beautiful spring day. Probably close to 75 degrees already. And you know what I've been doing the last couple years, and it seems to work for me. Now, it may just be in my head, I don't know, but I have found a good way to kind of ease into the summer heat. And what I do is this, you know, when it's like 60 or even 65 degrees out, I'll still wear a hoodie, okay? When it gets into the 70s, I'll still wear just a t-shirt and then like a long sleeve shirt. And it seems to work. You know, I'm kind of conditioning myself for the heat, maybe. And I know you guys down in the South think it's hilarious, but it gets to around 85, 90 degrees here. I slow down quite a bit. Not a fan of the heat at all. The cold doesn't bother me near as much as the heat does. But I have found, and like I said, it may just be in my head. If so, so be it. Easing into it like this seems to work for me. But anyway, I have been down here cutting and splitting some firewood. I was using the Split Force log splitter, splitting up some of this big oak right here and some other stuff that I brought over. I've got some over by the Wolfe Ridge. We're going to fire it up in a little bit. But right now, we're going to talk about one of the most controversial subjects on YouTube. And that is chainsaw sharpening. Now, it may not be the most controversial, but it's probably tied with tree felling and welding. And the reason I say that is anytime I see a video, mine including when I'm sharpening a saw, you get a lot of experts out there telling you that you're doing it wrong. Now, just to be clear, I'll tell you right now, I am by no means an expert. I'm not, but I think what I'm going to show you is going to be kind of helpful. So what I have here is a Stihl MS661 with a 3-foot bar on it. And the last time I used this, I was cutting up that oak over there. It was big stuff, had some metal in it. I think I may have whacked a couple nails here and there, may have touched the ground a time or two. Regardless of what happened, it needs sharpened badly. And I'm going to demonstrate how badly it needs sharpened on this little oak log right here. Then we'll sharpen it, and we'll just let the results speak for themselves. Now, that may not have seemed, you know, like super slow, but for a 661, it should do way, way better than what you just saw. Now, over the years, I've gotten pretty decent at hand filing. Like I said, I'm not an expert at it, but that's how I sharpen my chains. I don't send them out, and I've gotten pretty decent at it. I'll just leave it at that. And several years ago, I bought one of these Stihl 2-in-1 sharpeners, and I used it a couple of times and it worked well, and I don't know why, I just kind of put it away. And that was until just a few weeks ago where I screwed up the chain pretty bad on the 500i, and I thought I could whip it back into shape with this, and I was right. And I realized at that point just how well this really does work. You know, a lot of us don't have time to dedicate your life to mastering hand filing. You just want to get some wood cut. And I think this may be a very good option for a lot of people. And we're going to see here in a little bit. You saw how fast that saw cut, that red oak. We're going to sharpen it with this. One more cut. We'll let the results speak for itself, and we'll move on. All right, this tooth is pretty jacked up. But what I do is this. You've got 2 round files, one on this side, one on that side, and you've got a flat file in the middle. So if I'm going this direction, I got my round file down in the tooth. The flat one will take your depth gauge down, aka raker, to the proper height. Line the guide up with the line on the tooth. Make sure I stay as flat as I can. You know, you don't want to be like this, you don't want to be like that. And just file. Now when I'm filing these, I'm not raking it back across the tooth. I'm moving it this way a little bit with each pass, but I'm kind of staying down in there. And I don't do the same number of strokes or anything on each tooth. I do it until it's sharp, and then move on to the next one. I'm almost done with one side. This big bar takes a little while. All right, let's fire it up, see how it cuts. So I just went up and downloaded this memory card so I knew exactly how long it took to cut these. That first one, that's red oak, probably, what is that, 15 inches in diameter. Took 11.4 seconds with a 661 and a dull chain. Next cut was 6.9 seconds. Now I know on the first cut, I kind of let off just a little bit too soon, but it was obviously way faster after I sharpened it. Like I said, I have got pretty decent at hand filing for my needs, but I think I'm going to use this a lot more, especially when a chain's in really bad shape. This seems to bring it back. And really for anyone, you know, a lot of guys, they cut wood for a couple weeks out of the year, get all their firewood ready for the next year, and they don't need a saw for the rest of the year, so they don't get a lot of practice. And if you struggle hand filing, or you don't like sending your chains out, because I used to do that years ago, and there was a place, they did a real good job. They really did, and it was cheap. Back then it was like $3 a chain or something, and then the place changed hands, or no, it didn't. They got a new guy back there. That's what happened. And the next time I took chains down there, they would grind half of them away, and so that's when I decided I had to start learning to hand file. But I really think for the average Joe, this does a really good job. All right, just moved the dump trailer out of the way. And by the way, I am taking this sometime here in the near future over to Bennett Trailer Sales, and he's going to go over it for me. I think I'm going to put new tires on it. They're pretty decent, but just running back and forth longer trips, I want to have good tires on it. He'll go over it from front to back, top to bottom, brakes, you know, everything, and just make sure it's in tip-top shape. But that trailer, I don't even know, 4 years, 5 years, I don't know how long I've had it now. 4 years, I'd guess. It's fantastic. I'm telling you, I have hauled so many loads of firewood, logs, stone, as you know. I'm pretty attracted to stone. All kind of stuff. I actually hauled a new couch in it just the other day. We got a new couch for in the house. Dump trailer, very handy to have around. And this thing right here, that trailer mover comes from JB Fabrication, I think it's called. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And if I can find a link for that, I'll put it in the description. People always ask about that. And the other thing people ask about all the time is the rake on the excavator. I had no idea that many people would need a rake for an excavator, but since I've gotten that, I have probably, on average, 2 emails a week from people that have a machine that want to know what kind of rake that is. And it is a Work Brow, WERKBRAU, and it's a 24-inch rake. And the rake, yes, you can rake with it, but you don't think of a rake as something that you can dig stumps out with, but you can definitely do that with it. Great for picking up logs, picking up piles of brush. I have that on the excavator probably 80% of the time. I was going to say 90. 80% of the time. Yeah. Work, bro. So this wood that I have been cutting and splitting today, this is some of the stuff that came from over at the neighbors across the road. Red oak, mostly is what I was into today. Maybe a little bit of white oak as well. But this is without a doubt my favorite firewood. And this stuff here, oak takes a long time to dry, but this may actually be ready for next winter. We'll have to see. We'll get this in baskets, but all this that you see has been dead standing for probably over a year. No way is it ready to burn now, but once you get it split, stacked up in the baskets, it may be ready by this winter. But yeah, I just love red oak. And the other thing nice about it is when you're burning it, there's hardly any ash at all, like you get with cherry and maple. You go over to the stove in the morning, or if you just let it burn out, there's hardly anything left at all. Burns nice and hot and clean. Nice stuff. I think we're going to take a break from the firewood now and saw a little bit of lumber. right, so this is the first time I've had this happen when sawing this red pine. I think you'll be able to see it. I had this cant turned down this way, and I took one of the boards off, and I looked down the edge, and it was a little squirrely. So upon further investigation, can you see that? Got this big knot right here. I might have been sawing a little bit too fast, and it kind of rode up some. So I got like a big hump right here. So I turned the log. I could put this whole thing on. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to saw kind of slow through here and take a piece off of here. This will go to waste. I'll just saw it about an inch and an eighth thick, and then I'll take it easy, saw a little bit slower, and see if that cures the problem. This will show you clearly what I was talking about. See what I'm saying? So let's take this piece off and see if we got it straightened out. All right, let's see what it looks like now. That's good. Still just the tiniest. Nah, that's good. Rough cut lumber. Rough cut. I gotta keep telling myself that. That's good. You may have noticed, this was the first time. Well, maybe not the first time, but I've got this laser on here, and I very seldom ever use it. It is kind of handy. I don't really need it. I think the only time it's really beneficial is when you're taking that first slab off. You can kind of see down the log. But if it's real bright down here and sunny, even though we're under a roof, you can't really see it anyway down the log. You can see it on this end, but you already know where the blade's going to hit. But it is nice to be able to see where your cut's going to be to minimize waste. You know what I mean? Take a thinner slab where possible. It's not bad. I don't know if I'll use it very often, but we'll see. I think I may have to wrap this one up later on, or maybe even tomorrow. The hunt man is up there, and he has not been anywhere today, so I think we're going to make a sheets run. But I have something important to go over before we wrap this up. A couple things, actually. Number one, if you are interested, go to our website, outdoorswiththemorgans.com, and when you get there, there will be a pop-up that comes up. Enter your email, and you will be signed up for our newsletter. We'll never spam you or anything like that. We'll send an email out. We've been doing it every couple weeks. It's usually a recap of what's been going on, and kind of looking ahead to what is going to be going on. And of course, pics of the grandkids, the dogs, some behind the scenes stuff. The other thing I wanted to mention, if you don't mind, I'm going to try this because I've never done this before. Not very often do I say hit the like button, share the videos with your friends, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But I would like to try that on this video. So in other words, hit the like button. If you have any like-minded friends or family that are into the same things we all are, just copy the link to this video, send it to them, check it out, maybe they'll like it. And I can see on our analytics page if people are sharing the video, and I think it would be a good way to reach more people that are into the same types of things that we are and that you are. So try that. But yeah, I think that's about it. I really appreciate y'all being here. I do. It's a great community that we have here, and I appreciate it. And I will catch you on the next one.